Hi there. So today I'm going to show you how to make a Wix website for your own organization or business. And this might just help you to get it started and start putting content and copy in and familiarizing yourself with how Wix works. At the end point, you could always reach out to a professional to put the finishing touches on it and elevate it and perhaps, you know, optimize it for SEO and things like that. But creating your own website on Wix is not super difficult. However, if you did want something modern and functional, then follow my tutorial because it's achievable as long as you have some understanding of how websites work. So right now I've selected to start a new website and I'm going to choose Wix because the editor X is a bit more complicated. Now we're just going to skip through this and we'll just give this a name. Say that we are Barry's Auto. Now, the reason I'm choosing an example for a mechanic or something like that is because I really believe that local services websites are critical. And there's certain SEO elements that during this tutorial I want to include. So we're not going to go with Editor X because it's a bit too advanced, and we're not going to go with Website Generator because it's too basic. We're going to stick with the Wix editor. And you can choose a template, but I'm not going to do that. I'm going to show you how to start a website from scratch. Templates often end up creating more work for you on the long run. So we're going to choose this start from scratch and edit that. And in this tutorial, I'm going to show you a few other things to get your website looking really good, a few other tricks and tips along the way. So while this is loading, I'd like to talk about your branding. So if you're a new company or it's a new startup and you don't have any branding, you don't have any logos at all, then that's something to think about. I'm going to need a logo on here somewhere. So I do get a lot of clients that have startups and they need a whole branding and logo suite created. So what I can recommend is something called Canva. Now, Canva is so easy to use, and we're going to create a logo right now for Barry's Auto. So here we go. They've got a whole bunch of templates, and we're going to actually put in here auto. It's going to show me something a bit more creative. And let's just choose this. And here is our cute little logo. We can edit it. We can change the font types. We can change the icons, everything like that. We're going to change this background to white. We still have the white on white here, so we can't actually see it right now. And then I'm going to pick up all of those and change it to black. There we go. This is going to be, well, let's do this nice color here. Not that. So now we have two logos in two different colors. And I'm going to change nothing. I'm going to pick it all up and I'm going to make it a bit bigger. There we go. Okay, now I'm going to download that. I'm going to save these as SVG, the transparent background. This is going to ensure that the logo comes up really nicely and clear in the website. So I'm just going to download both pages. Okay, that's done. And now we're back on the website. So here we have our header. Here we can see two dashed lines. This is what we call the responsive section. In between these two, if you ensure that all text and images and content is within these lines, it's going to appear on all devices. If it's outside of these lines, it will be cut off. So everything you do has to be within these two lines. Now, generally what I do with the header straight away is I add a strip. And I'm going to make this a lot smaller. We can see that it's already in the header. But now what I can do with this strip is click on layout and add a column. So now I can sort of break my top header up into sections, which allows me to play a little bit more with those responsive guidelines. I can then change the layout of these columns to be smaller on one side and longer on the other. So now I've got this section. Here's my two responsive guidelines in this column. And on column 2, these are my responsive guidelines. Now, I'm probably going to put a menu up here. And therefore, I'm going to move the layout to the right so that it sits up nicely onto the side here and not sort of in the middle in a random place. Now I'm going to take my logos, which I'm just pulling out now, and I'm going to put a logo in there. So we go to image, upload images, and I'm going to pull over my two images logos that I created. And something I recommend you to do from the very beginning of starting a website is put things into folders. So here we have our two logos, and I'm going to create this folder, and I'm going to put everything in there because as you start to build out the site, you're going to probably get a lot of media in here and it can get jumbled. And then, over time as well, you add a lot more content and things, especially if you have a blog, get into the habit of putting things into folders. So here we go. I have this two folders in here now. If I try to add this image to the page, I'm just going to put it down here. You're going to see that it's sort of, oh, where did it go? Let me just scroll up and down. Back. It's going to sort of change in a minute. Here we go. It completely changed and sort of almost cropped around that logo, and that's because it's a vector file or an SVG file. So you sort of have to move it around and then it will automatically change like that. Okay, so now we've got it into this section here. Looking good. It's very clear logo because it's an SVG. And now you can see this strip that I put in on top of the header is like a gray color. It automatically does that. It doesn't create a strip in like a white background. It uses like an FA or something like that. Color, yeah, FA. I'm going to change it to white, and that's column 2. And then column 1, I'm going to change to none. That's fine too. None or white. There we go. Now let's bring up our tools, our toolbar. And I want this strip to sit right at the top. So that's an easy little toggle. There we go. I'm going to move that down a little bit, move that up. So basically what I've just done is made the header and the strip on top of the header the same size. I've centered now the vector art just by clicking this, align to middle, and now we have this section, right? So we've started with our header. Later on, when we create pages, we'll put a menu up here. And now we're going to create the rest of the homepage. So we're going to add a section. Ooh. It's already added a section. Okay. So strip. You can use these featured strips. It's sort of like a pre-designed strip. I guess there's some interesting things. I never really use any of these. So I'm just going to go with classic. Okay. So this is our homepage banner. I'm going to change that strip background to an image. Now I don't have any images. I'm just going to use free stock images from WiX, and I'm going to put in mechanic. Obviously, if you have images you want to upload, then do that. Let me find something cool. Sort of like that girl. There we go. Now we have this image, and this is looking good. It's a high quality image. It doesn't have any pixelation issues because, yeah, it's a stock image, so they're sort of all good quality for you. Now, obviously, we want to put some text on there. Let's see what happens when I put some text. I can't see it. We could change it to white, but still can't really see it, right? So here's what we have to do. Firstly, I'm going to get it to where I want it to be. I'm going to change the alignment to be center, so we can see now it's centered and not aligned to the left. Now let's pick up this strip background, and here we have the image opacity. The color behind the image is an off-white. I'm going to change it to black. And now I'm going to reduce this image opacity so that black underneath is coming through, and now we can see this text. So that's really important. You're going to have to do that a lot throughout your website, because often we have these images and we put text over. Yeah, we can't see it. So that's how we do that. Now I'm going to edit this text. I'm going to change the line spacing. There we go. And we got started. Now, I don't particularly like that font type. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come over to Site Design, click on Site Theme, and I can change the colors, and I can also change the text. So if I change the text for every text type, then I won't have to worry about it every time I add text. So instead of using Helvetica Bold for heading ones, I'm going to use something that I like to use often. Ilarion's really nice. I'm going to use Ilarion. There we go. And we're just going to go in and change them all. So Ilarion Black is heavier than Bold. So that's my heading ones. That's for SEO. you sort of have heading 1, heading 2, heading 3, etc. This sort of tells search engines what's a title, what's a subtitle, what's paragraph text. So we're just editing the style behind that. Heading 3. I'm just leaving the size. That's all fine for me. And we can keep going in and doing that for heading 4, heading 5. So maybe by heading 4, I'm going to use a finer font type. Let's go to like a medium or something, or a semi-bold. Then I'm just going to go into a basic. If it's a smaller font type, I might just use a semi-bold there. Okay, and then we have our paragraph text. So we have, again, paragraph 1, 2, and 3. Search engines just recognize paragraph as paragraph text. There's not really a differentiation like there is with titles or heading text, but this is more for your styling around the website. It's just easier to have these already set up. So I'm going to use Questrial. I like that font. Okay, so that's done now. We can see that this is now changed to Aileron Black, like I've set. And if I want to leave it there, that would be fine. I could put some text and a call to action button underneath. Another thing I could do is change the layout and move it to the left. And now you can see the responsive guidelines are from the far left until here. So that means that I could now put this like here, align it to the left, and it could look like that. So it's really up to you what you want to do. Now I'm going to add some text underneath this. I'm a bit lazy with adding text box. I just click on this text box, press Control D, and it duplicates it. And just stick it underneath. Edit text, and I'm going to go down to paragraph text. Now there is a cool little thing with WiX that helps you to create copy, which actually works quite well, surprisingly. Click on it, create AI text. I'm going to say we're a mechanic. It's a paragraph. Welcome is the topic. Family-owned business since 2002, specializing in European. Ooh. Something like that. I don't know. Let's just do that. And then it gives us all these little options, and I think it's actually cool. I don't mind it. Let's just use this. Obviously, you can just change it when you've copied it in there. So I'm going to move this down a little bit. Nice. So here we have the homepage set up for the banner. Now, I always recommend to pop in a call to action. A call to action is asking them to do something to take them somewhere. to continue with their journey. So we usually do that through adding a button that takes them somewhere. And we can change the design of this. So for example, I want to put some corners in. There we go. And I can make it bigger. And that's done. Now if I zoom out, this is what it's looking like so far. And I don't mind it, but I think I would prefer it centered. I always like to zoom out and sort of have a out-of-box view of what it's looking like. So there we go. I'm going to move it into the center. Move it into the center, change the text alignment. Change this strip background, this strip to be centered. And then this to be centered also. Okay. Now I can group all these together. I've just hit Shift and selected all 3 element boxes, and I'm going to click Group Elements. Okay. And now I can actually align the whole group to the center. So depending on how big this banner is that I created, it's just going to center the whole group instead of one element to the center. I always like to have the bottom a little bit shorter than the top, though, on these banners. Okay, so we've done that. We're going to add another section. Again, you can create a section that's already sort of made for you. Some of them aren't so bad, I guess. Sort of, yeah, it is what it is, but I never use them. Just move that section to hit up into the strip so I don't have a blank space. Okay, so now I'm going to add another strip. Remember, a section is just a section. You have to actually start adding strips and elements into it. And in this section, I've just created a little strip. I'm going to click Layout and add a column. And you can add up to 5 columns. Add column, add column, add column. Sometimes you have to click Manage Columns again to add another column. So this is what I have underneath. And what I'm going to do is create 4 USPs, which is 4 unique selling points in these little boxes. Now, what I can do in terms of design is create column spacing. So say, that separates the columns, and then padding here creates padding around that strip. So I've got 10 there, and I could put 10 here. I've sort of got these boxes now isolated. Looks like that. And what you could do is change the strip background to a color. Say it's like this, or like this. So now you sort of have a little bit of a design thing going on. I'm going to leave it as white, though, and then I'm going to work with each of these little columns. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a vector to each, or a vector art, or a little icon. I'm going to click Decorative, and I'm going to click Icons. And there's lots you can choose from that come free with WiX. So we're going to do Trusted. Oh, Trust. Oh, Doesn't like it. Approved. Oh, here's a nice little one. Okay, so I'm going to put this into this column. Done. I'm going to align it to the center. That looks pretty cool. I actually don't mind the color of it as well. I think it's sort of minimalist, but if you wanted to change the color, that's the beauty of working with vector art, is you can change the color, right? It's pretty cool. But I'm going to leave it to that other color. Just go back till I get it. Okay. So that's that. I'm going to stretch it down a little bit. And then I'm going to add some text underneath. We only want some small text here. And we're going to say, now, obviously, you're going to want to be a bit more creative with this. Trusted. I'm going to move this so it's a little bit smaller, and we're going to pop it in here. That looks good. Now, again, I'm sort of keen to get these two centered in this box, so I'm going to click Shift and select both elements, group them, and then center and middle of the line. And that looks good. So now I'm going to select this. I'm going to duplicate it by pressing Control D. Otherwise, you can click this little element, this little button here, duplicate. I'm going to pop it in here. Do it again. Now, you can see the guidelines sort of pop up. It's telling me that it's centered. So just look for that to happen. Can't see behind there, so I'll just use this way. So now I'm going to ungroup these because it's easier to work with when I have to edit it. And I'm going to change the vector art. I'm going to put different things in for their unique selling point. Sort of just want, that seems a bit weird, doesn't it? But let's say, I don't know, maybe if I put Europe. Europe. I guess that sort of works. I think this is better. This color. So now we can change this. Oh my God, I can't spell sometimes. I don't know. Sometimes you get this happen. It happens that it's sort of the opacity isn't correct. So sometimes I just start again with it, delete it, and put it back in. I'm not going to worry about it right now. I'm going to change these vector arts again. So 5 stars. We have 4 stars. Here's 5 stars. Okay. I'm going to make this bigger. Now, obviously, you get the gist of it. You're going to keep going and doing that throughout these other columns, and then you're going to have these really cool sort of unique selling points that just come up straight away. Move this up. This is the section. I'm going to move this right up, and it's just going to butt up against that strip, and we're going to start again. So add a section, blank section. Now I'm just winging this and making it up as I go along. I can imagine that other people doing tutorials online have a lot of planning, but I don't know, I just wing it. So after making thousands of websites, it's easy to do, but another thing to explain it, I guess. So after we have our banner, we have our unique selling points. I really highly recommend doing this. I do this for a lot of websites. I can see that this is moved down. I'm going to move it back up. There we go. I can tell you, yeah, having this type of thing straight up, the things that make you unique, is really, really good, as well as testimonials on your homepage. So now we're going to go in, and at this point, I would be probably doing a services overview. So in order to do that, we have 2 options at this point. We could put a bookings plugin, the bookings app. So here's your apps here. And we could say bookings. And you can add that. And it's very, very easy to set up and to take bookings online. However, a lot of people don't want to use bookings. They want to talk to people and approve things. And so they find the idea of having these bookings, too difficult to manage. However, with WiX bookings, you can take booking requests, which means they're not automatically approved. It's just going to give you a notification to say, hey, somebody wants to book at this time. Is it, you can go in and approve it, or you can contact them and say, hey, what about this time, or what about that time, and things like that. But what I do like about it is that it's just really intuitive design, helps you to set your services up correctly, so it looks nice, and takes a lot less work to go in and create individual service pages and things like that. So just for that alone, it's worth having. So we're going to add it to site. I'm going to pause this video while it sets up. Okay, so it's now added the app to my website. It's created a new page and all the members areas and everything that you need. So it comes up with this sort of guide. So we're going to create a first service. And now you can see in your dashboard, the app is there as well. So we're going to start from scratch. Under service type, you have a few different options, but considering the type of service this is, appointment is fine. So we're going to pop little things in here. I'm just copying this from another website. So we can put an image in, which is nice. We're going to go to WiX Media. Oh, let's use fixing the car. So the description, you're going to put in what this offers. So there we go. Duration, I don't know, how long do these take? 2 hours. Buffer time, this is the time in between appointments. So if you don't want to take them back to back, so you can put a 15-minute buffer time in. I think it would be cool for mechanics and things like that to offer like a plan on their website, so they can become like a member and get 10% off their services and keep them coming back. That would be cool. So you can choose that and set that up. We're just going to leave it with per session. So here you can put in a fixed amount, varied prices, or custom price. So we're going to have a fixed price. Probably mechanics would be like, there's no such thing, but we're going to do it anyway. Now, obviously, you can put custom price, like starts from something, or you can set varied prices. Let's try that. Save and continue. So let's say you actually have a few different price settings that are based on the size of the car. So, petrol, 4-cylinder, vehicle. And then we're going to say a diesel. Diesel. I'm sure this is not how they work it out. But anyway. And you can just keep going, right? And what is this? Vehicle type. Let's just say that's something that people do. Now, how do they pay? You can pay online or in person, or entire amount in person. Let's just do that. Now, the location, you're going to put your business address. We're going to add that. Let's just choose a random Florence Street. There we go. We're in Canada. Paris Auto. Save. Now, this is really cool. You can assign your staff. So, say somebody handles these car maintenance service appointments. You have certain people that are just doing that. So, you can add them. And then in your calendar, you sort of know who's taking what appointments. Of course, you don't have to do this at all. But let's just rename this anyway to something generic. Images, so you can add a gallery, advanced settings, take online bookings. No, we are going to manually approve. And then you have the option when you choose that they can request to book the same time slot. That's okay. Perhaps you have quite a lot of staff and you can take more than one car at a time. And then you can customize your booking form. So here, save. We're going to add this. This is going to be a short answer. Vehicle, make, and model. Good. This is required. We're going to make sure that that comes up when they check out or when they make that booking request. Okay, I'm going to save that form. That looks great. So we've got one. Perfect. Go through. It's looking good. Okay, we're going to save that. And I'm just going to add a couple more, just so you can see what it looks like on the website. Now, of course, this just works for anything. A yoga instructor, hair salon, plumbers, anything where you're offering services, your local business offering services. If you're a consultant online offering different consulting services, business services, anything, this booking app is great. And it integrates with your Google Calendar and everything like that. So highly recommend this as part of your website if you're trying to sell your services. Okay. So we're going to do car, tire, services, and repair. Right. You know, a fixed price, but you understand how to do this differently. Um, okay, that's done. Let's see. Manually approve. Yes. And our custom booking form. Maybe in this one it's vehicle, make, and model again. but of course, you can put anything. So I've put 2 in, and now we can see what it's going to look like. I'm going to close out of that. Manage services on this little app. We're back on the editor. Oh, so I didn't mean to do that. Boop. Settings. Layouts. We can choose from different layouts. So you can see here, you can do something simple like this. Say you have like quite a lot of services, then this is a nice little thing to set up. Otherwise, this looks good too. So that's fine. We're going to stick with that. We're going to go to design, and we're going to look at perhaps changing this to a gray. We don't want everything to be black. Okay, and back to design. Button design, we're going to go with our round buttons. Now that looks good. So we're done with that. So that's on our book online page. We're going to go back to home now. And then in here, in this section, I'm going to add bookings. I'm going to go to bookings, service list. You can have like a featured service or a list of services. Excuse me. I'm going to choose this one. We got 2 there. Looks a bit huge, doesn't it? For a home page. So I'm going to use this little one. And then I'm going to design this. I'm going to go back into that button design. Use our little round ones, backgrounds. Don't like that color. Okay. So now we've got these 2 little services come up. And what I'm going to do is, this in itself acts like a strip, but I want to add a title and just get in the habit of putting everything in strips, because when you go to mobile optimize it, I just find it's a lot easier when you've sort of done this. So I'm going to change that strip background to white. And then I'm going to put some text on top of that. I'm going to go with a heading 2. Your heading 1 is just, you only want to use that once on each page. You want to make sure it's using keywords as well. After that, you're going to just use heading 2s. So, popular services. You can be a bit fancy here and be like, oh. Now I'm going to move this down a bit because I want a bit more spacing. Okay, we're going to make sure that this section covers all the elements inside of it. So this is where this finishes here. I'm going to make sure that that section is below it. So this is what we've got so far. It's looking pretty schmancy. I'm going to add another section. Now, testimonials. I do like these ones. It's like a sliding testimonial thing. This one's pretty cool too. We're just going to choose that. Okay. Huge. I don't like this at all. I regret it. So I'm going to pick it up and I'm going to delete it. I'm going to add a strip. Go back into testimonials. You can see that these testimonials are different. It's weird how that does that. So we're going to go with classic. Put this in. Move this up. Now I'm going to get this text box, duplicate it because I'm lazy, move it down and pop it into this strip. Client testimonials. Make sure that that's centered. Okay. Now I'm going to add another element, Now I'm going to use a interactive. And we're going to use a full width slideshow. Yeah, okay, that's fine. Delete. Edit this text. Make it this way. Choose our paragraph text. And we're going to put in our testimonial. Whatever you want that to be. I'm just going to use some lorem ipsum text here because I can't be bothered writing a testimonial. There we go. Come on. Okay, that looks great. I'm going to change this to blue. I'm going to change this background to off-white. Okay. Now this FA is the color behind here, and I've made it to the same color as the slideshow. I made sure that that strip and the slideshow is tied up against each other. And now I'm going to manage slideshows. This is what slideshow 2 looks like. We're just going to delete that. And slideshow 3, delete. And what we're going to do is duplicate slideshow 1. And then we can just come in here and change the text. Now for this slideshow, my layout, I don't want the slide buttons, I just want the arrows. And then I can design what those arrows will look like. Navigation arrows. I'm going to use this sort of bluey color. And then for settings, I can say that I want it to auto play or just slide through. So they're going to last for 5 seconds each. And I want to do a crossfade. Okay. Obviously, this is a little bit of a distance, so I'm going to move that up. Move this up. Use this little centering thing. Why did you go all the way over there? Okay. Gonna move this up too. Nice. So now we've got this little testimonials thing. Let's zoom out. It's looking like this so far. Don't really like the blue text, but anyway. That's looking good. Now, one thing I don't like is how we've just got this one word at the bottom, so I'm going to move it. There we go. Of course, the other slides are not going to be like that now. You can see now I'd have to go in and change everything. Get it all realigned again. Do it. Okay. That's done. So this section is going all the way down here. We're going to pull this all the way back up till it butts up against there. The other thing you can do is get this strip, move it all the way down, then get this slide, pull it back up. It's now attached to this strip here, and this just gives us a little bit more space at the bottom. It's sort of enclosing that a bit more instead of the section ending right underneath here. I want a little bit more space. So by bringing this strip down, all the way down, it's sort of like the background for this. Okay, so we're good with that. Got to pull this section back up again. And isn't that great? Looking good. Now, you can just keep going and going and going, adding sections. I highly recommend having a little section about us, having blog posts featured. Blog posts are great for SEO. These are the types of things you can put on your homepage. The things that should be on your homepage is basically things that are located throughout your site. So it's sort of like your first, when users come to your website, they can scroll down your homepage and they'll be taken through different call to actions around your site, right? So if we were to add a about page, then we have a link to the about page from that. But what we're going to do is we're going to start doing the footer. So I'm going to just add a strip. I like simple footers, but just like I did with the header, I put a strip into the footer and I create columns just so I have a bit more space to work with. So in here, we're going to add an image. Now, often this doesn't work. When I want to use a vector, it doesn't work so well. Site files, logos. Oh, it's working. So in this little column here, we're going to put the logo. We're going to add some text. I'm going to add this text to the footer, which is behind this strip. And this is going to be my copyright 2023 by Paul Barry's Auto. Don't forget to put this. And use the copyright symbol too. And I'm going to center that. Doesn't need to be huge. Center into the center of the footer there. Move this up. Move this up. Okay. Now, obviously, we can do things here like at our socials. These are huge. I'm going to put it here. And then on this thing here, I could put anything. I could put some site links. I could put a contact us or subscribe and things like that. But generally, I don't worry about everything until I finish the site, and then I'll go back into the footer and decide what I want to put there. But for now, that's what it's looking like. So it's a little bit of a simple design. But there we go. So we have that. Pages. We've got our book online. Now we're going to add a page. Now, because we're talking about creating a simple website, this is where I would start using the templates. So things like the About page, you have a few different designs. And honestly, I think they're okay. Like I reckon something like this is user-friendly and a smart design. So I can recommend to use it. Okay. So obviously you want to put your text in here. I think this is an opportunity for you to put a little bit of design in there, like so. I always like to do these different. What did I use? Just plain a layer around, didn't I? You can do lots of things. Right. So now it's all sort of set up for you. You just put in some content. So say here, you just want to change your backgrounds. Oh, look, it's the mechanic girl from before. Obviously, we want to use something a little bit generic because when you're using an image as a background, it's sort of just going to change, crop it, and things like that based on the device they're using. So we need to use something that's going to work regardless of how big the device screen size is. So that's that. And then we're going to edit this content here to however you want it. Same as here. And you can change your column background there again. Now, at this point, you might want to add a bit more info because this isn't a lot. Now, in the About section, it's often a good opportunity to put your testimonials in again. So instead of setting it all up again, we're just going to copy what we've done over here. Get this strip. So you're clicking on it until it comes up with strip. You click copy. Then we're going to go over to the about page. Click on this section and we're going to click paste. Ta-da! Oh. Okay. I'm going to have to go get those testimonials. Copy. Click down here. Paste. There we go. So easy. I'm going to move this down a bit. I want a bit of a spacing between this section here. Nice. Move this up a bit. Okay. And then you might want to put in something like meet the team. You know, get to know our mechanics. So, add section. Team. This is pretty cool. You'd have to go get photos of everybody. That's annoying. Right. So we have this, right? But it's not within our sort of style. So we're going to delete this here. You're gone. This we're going to center because we're using a lot of center alignment text in this website. Duplicate that. Pop it there. Center it. Nice. Now we've got this. Still don't like exactly how this is working, so I'm going to change this strip background to white. I'm going to pick up this repeater. A repeater basically means that it's going to repeat the design over and over again for you, so you don't have to design the columns every time. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to check the layout that it looks all right to me. I'm going to get this column. This is the container. And I'm going to change the background to fa. I'm going to redesign this. I'm going to put a border on it. Change that border to this color. Fancy. Now, you can see all of them have changed. That's great. So we can come in here and be like, this is Barry. Barry Donald, 2 first names. And owner and master mechanic. I don't know. And obviously you can just go in and change that and say you've got more people. So all you're going to do is click on this, duplicate. Perfect. Now we just need to go in and change his photo and things like that. Pretty cool. But what I'm going to do first is I can see that this is a little different. You can see that the spacing is different. And instead of trying to edit all of them and then they're going to keep fucking up because they're going to move up and down and shit. So what you're going to do is I'm just going to delete all these items. If you can see that the alignment is not correct for all of them, delete them all, right? And now duplicate, duplicate, duplicate. And you can see now they're coming up correctly. The repeater can be a bit funny sometimes. Obviously, you can come in and change your image. So you want to, obviously, for this section, you're going to have to upload your own images, put it in a folder called the team. And we're going to say this is a man. And where's Barry? These are looking a bit too fancy for a Barry. Well, he looks happy, doesn't he? Oh, look at this guy. If my mechanic looked like him, I would go all the time. So you're going to change all the photos and you're going to change the names and what they do. And there you have it. Meet the team. So let's go out. Doot, doot. Looking good. Very nice. It's looking good. See how we've got these black lines around here? I'll show you how that's done. Manage columns. No, not manage columns. Layout. Column spacing is at 1, padding 1, and then behind this strip, the color is black. And that's why you see these little lines, because they've got a spacing of 1. If we removed that, the black lines go away. The black lines borders do not match this site, so we are not going to use it. Doink. Nice. Look at that. Okay. Save. Carries. Order. Probably should have saved before now, by the way. It's a bit late to save. Could have lost it all. Now, see what just happened. It's called a bug. Now, if you're sort of finding these things are happening and you're like, hey, I didn't do that. Firstly, click on it. Oh, click on the repeater. Check the layout. It's supposed to be 20. Click it. Click it again. Go back to 20. It's worked itself out. Save. Okay, don't do it again. If you are having issues, like sometimes I will try to edit text, like, oh, I want to make this aligned, or I want to change the text or the color or something, and it doesn't change. Save what you're doing and do a hard refresh by clicking Control-Shift-R. Sometimes you just need to refresh it, the whole site, and it will start working perfectly for you again. Okay. Now, we've got our about. We're happy with that. What else are we going to do? We've got this nice little section up here, right? I'm going to copy this section because I think this section looks good, and I want to make sure that all the other pages, child pages, which is everything but your homepage, looks the same. So this is going up. Now I'm going to change this to our services. Book. Now the reason I'm going over and not doing it here, because as you can see the font is black. It's still on this, so I move over, it goes down to the correct font type. Book online. Right. And then we have this, but it already says our services up there, right? I want to say it again. Go into settings. Layouts, display. Take that off. Nice. Now we've just got this. Looks good. Now, since we added the bookings, we have these two things come up. If somebody books online and they want to log in to see, what they've booked, what their past bookings, what they've got coming up, then they can log in. It's pretty handy, but I don't want it up here. I'm going to move it down into the footer. This, not particularly keen on it. Up there. Don't really want a shopping bag. Doesn't make much sense. Let's use cart. I wonder if we can change what it says. Customize text, my cart. My bookings. There we go. No bookings. Text. View bookings. Okay, that looks better. Why does it say cart still? Because it has that. Right. That was just, cart. There we go. How good's that? Now, this you might want up the top. I think I do. I'm going to put it right up here. Oops. Didn't mean to do that. Delete you. Right up the top there. Good. At this point, I think we can put our menu in now. We've got a few pages. I like a simple menu. Now, you can see this is actually connected to the header and not to the strip on top. All we've got to do is sort of move it around, and it's going to say attach to column. There we go. We're going to move this over here. Align it with that end here. We're going to organize the layout. Move it to the side there. Move that right over. Now it's aligned with this up here. Looks good. Let's design it. Customize design. This is just a container. We're not going to do anything with it. But the text, we are going to change. It's way too big. Paragraph 3, cholesterol. Okay. Over here, we're going to say lowercase. Change this to our services. Now, your logo, you're going to link that to your homepage. That's standard. That means you don't have to have it here as well. Some people still like to have it though. I don't. Okay, so I don't like the color of this bookings button. I'm going to change that. Don't do that. There we go. That can stay the same. Right. Now, I'm actually going to put a call to action in here. Button. I'm going to put it in here. I'm going to change it to this design, which is automatically saved for us. I'm going to change the text to book online. It's actually just going to go to our services, but there we go. And we can move this. So it's just a little one like that. Okay. I'm 100% about that being there. I think I just want to move this down, create some space. Okay. So this is looking pretty good. Now, again, here, you could put testimonials again. You could put, if you have a Google My Business page, you could add that here. That would be good too. And Google reviews. So say you wanted to add Google review testimonials. So it's pulling it straight from your Google My Business. So you can add an app like this and set it up, and it would automatically populate your website with your latest Google reviews. I'm not going to do it because I don't have a business for this account, but you could do it. There you go. Okay, so that's looking good. Now, service page. Let's see how that's looking. We're going to edit this. Settings. Layout. Take that off. There you go. Very simple. Really don't need to do anything more. We're happy with that. This is just showing a standard template because you don't have sessions and things like this with this. It's not going to look like that. So don't worry. Booking calendar. Now, all of this should be standard. I'm not going to edit it. It's all going to look good. Okay, so then I'm going to show you how to add a couple more pages. Contact page. Let's add this one. To serve local services website. So this is good. Done. Your contact goes all the way down there. It's looking a bit cramped now. I'm going to spread this out. This is actually fine. This is the same as our previous page headers. Here, obviously, you're going to change your column background again, image, whatever you want to use. I'm very fussy with these dummy images that I'm using, so apologies. I like that. Come in and change this information. Design, we're going to change that to our button. We do not want this background. Don't want this type of thing. Old. We've already got it in our footer, our socials, so I don't really care to put it back in. There we go. Opening hours, that's important. Let's change this background color to a blue. And then black looks terrible on top of it, so we're going to change this to white. Shift, select them all. So we're going to edit this text to white. White. It's looking good. If anybody wants this website, let me know. You can have it. I'll transfer it to you. Now, obviously, I understand. I've been doing this a very long time, so I'm very fast. But honestly, it's not super difficult to do something like this. Then here we have manage locations. We're going to put in our Florence Street. Oh, come on. Don't you remember? We have a random address. Florence Street, Canada. Paris. Auto. Okay. Add a link to your Google page. And then we can do something pretty cool here. Pin design. Boink. And we're going to change it to our color. Blue. That looks nice. This is really good for SEO too. Well, make it a little bit bigger. There we go. Okay, look at that. I'm going to move this section up. Bam, bam, bam. Done. So now we have home, about, services, and contact. It's looking good. People don't really know what the login is for. We're going to tell them. Customer login. weird how it's just wanting to go that way. You're annoying. Really doesn't want to change alignment. Getting clunky. Okay. That's that. What could we do here? We could just put a little menu in. Pick up the menu again. It's already saved our little menu that we designed before, so I'm just going to use that again. I'm going to squish it up. So we get a lot of space on this side, and this one's a bit squished. So what we're going to do is we're going to say manage columns, layout, no. Pick up the whole strip, come on. Layout. We're going to move this over a bit. Pick these two up again, move them over. You can go there. Now we've got a bit more room here. Duplicate. Of course, it puts it on top. Quick. Thanks. There we go. Give me that. Doesn't want to give me the line now. See how hard it is to get it? I have to move this whole thing down. Hey. Okay. Ugh. I always have this problem with little lines. I'm going to put that in between here. Change that design to... Can't really see it. Okay. And then we have it. Cute little menu, customer login, footer design, and our website is done. So obviously on the home page, we can just continue to add more and more. So yeah, we could add an About Us section. We could add a Contact Us section. You can just keep going with it. You could add a blog, which is really good because it's what Google's always looking for new relevant content, and the only way you can do that easily is with a blog. But just to finish this tutorial off, we're going to show you a little bit about the all important on-page SEO. So you can come in here and add all these things, right? But what I recommend you do is use the planner they have. So we're going to go to My Dashboard. And we're going to go down to Marketing and SEO. And we're going to select SEO. And what it's going to do is go through this sort of checklist and just give you little prompts to get started. So which keywords? It's our 3 keywords. Remember, keywords can be long tail. They can be long. That has to be one word. So this is where we're going to get told how to optimize Barry's auto mechanic. Good. We're going to use that. Or we can be like other and say best European mechanic. Ottawa. Barry's Auto. Okay, it is because my site name is, okay, right. It's just like that. Okay. So according to our keywords that we put in, we now have a good homepage title. So what we were looking at here is now done for us. Okay, it's going to update this later when we sort of finish this, but instead of doing it all here, we're just doing it through this thing, and it's just helping us to do it correctly. So here, what are we going to write? Well, we're going to have to use at least one keyword, which is auto mechanic, your business name. So come see Barry's Auto for your Barry's Auto for your vehicle service and repairs, specializing in European cars, based in Canada. Obviously, I would suggest you come up with something better than that, but I'm just doing this for the SEO purposes. Ottawa mechanic, European car mechanic, best mechanic in Ottawa. Okay, all done. And you just keep going through this because now it's going to say, hey, keep doing these things, add these keywords. And you just keep going and going and going. And then it says, now your site pages, what do we need to do there? Contact page, this needs this, and it just, you can do it so easily from here, and it gives you all the details on how to do it. So I highly recommend just using this tool and getting it all sorted like that. And then once you've sort of done it, it'll update the changes and you're good to go. After you've done your SEO checklist, that's the point, and you sort of got the all clear. That's the point when you're going to be ready to publish your site. The other part of good SEO is your mobile version. So that's your technical SEO. So we're going to click over to back into the editor and okay, refresh. So we made changes to that SEO. So now it's just saying, hey, refresh it so we can show those changes on the editor. Okay, so to finish off our SEO process, we're going to jump into this mobile version. Now, if you've done as I said and put sections incorrectly and done all this stuff, then it makes light work of the mobile version, right? So this is our header. It's a bit out of whack. The first thing I'm going to do is move bookings to the menu box. Okay, I'm going to move this down. I'm going to change, I don't like white backgrounds. Change this to blue. We can't change that color, so I'm going to do something in a minute. But right now, text will be, come on. It's not showing me the color. It should definitely show me the color. What are you doing? Oh, there we go. And then when it's selected, we want it to be yeah, that'll do. Okay. Now I can't change this color. So what I'm going to do is put a little box behind it. Change that color to white. Get my mini cart, pop it into there. Move you back. Hey, what color was that? No, it just doesn't want to show at all. This is the point where you'd want to do a hard refresh, but right now I'm going to leave it there because I know it will work once I publish because I know that that color is not white. I'm going to change this over here to customize design, fill. When it's open, I want it to be white. Look at my little dinosaur. Now, here's our strip. I'm going to move that up. I'm going to move this over here. Book online. Yeah, I want to keep that. I'm going to put it like this. Nice big call to action. Make this bigger. Get column 2, pull that all the way up. Get the header, put that all the way up. Guess that could be like that. Nah. Pull this column down a little bit. I'm going to make this a bit bigger. Stop playing silly buggers. So we see this strip underneath. It's like all the way down here. We're going to have to move that up. Okay. So now our strip behind and our header behind is all in there. Now we're just going to go through each section. I'm just going to move that down. Move this down. Huge. Now there is something you can do. You can do like a optimizer. It just like automatically does it for you. I don't recommend it. Do it yourself. It doesn't work well. Okay, so we're just going to move these little boxes up. Now this is the section. We're just going to move that up. Column 5 up. Okay, now we've got these little titles. 24. I'm going to move this up to 26. I'm going to make sure that everything else is now 26 as well. So this will have to be 26. Move that down a bit. Move. So all you're sort of doing is the same sort of thing as you're doing like on the desktop. You're just doing it for the mobile. Okay. I want to bring this up so it hits up against there. Go through your slideshows because you want to make sure they all work for you. Okay. Then we've got the footer. Of course, you only have to do the footer once and the header once because it's fixed on every page. Okay, you love it bugging up. Scroll up. Just click on something else. Scroll back down. Fixes itself. The footer. Give me the footer. The footer is shorter than the content that I've got in there, so I'm going to have to drag this footer down to cover it all. Okay. Then that's enormous. You're just moving things around, moving this down here. We're not going to put quick links on here. They can go to the menu bar for navigating around the site. Now I only want to bring this up a little bit, so I'm going to use the arrows on the navigation arrows on the keyboard and do little tiny things, tiny movements. Okay, and that's it. That's done. And you just do the same for the other pages. So, as you can see, it all looks pretty good. We just do the same thing here. Make sure that this section covers everything inside. Pull it down. Get this. Push this down. Make this size 26. Move that down. Move this up. There we go. Make sure this is size 26. Look at this. Not cool. There we go. Now they all change, because remember that was a repeater. So that's good. Pretty easy, huh? Our services. And it's easy because we set it out correctly when we did the desktop site first. That looks squishy. There we go. Okay. Contact. Oop. Move this into alignment. Now, on here, I'm going to add a little heading. And this is only going to appear on the mobile site. Okay, so we're just going to do this little thing. And you know what? I might put a little line in there. No, I don't want that blue. I used blue line. Oops. Okay. So this would annoy me endlessly that this is not aligned. So I'm just going to pull. I just clicked shift. I'm going to move these over to their aligned. Look at this. Dumb. Okay. This is your thanks for submitting thing. We should probably make that a bit bigger and center it. So when they hit send, that's just going to come up on the same page. They know it's sent. See how it's not letting you do this? There's a little, it's struggling. It's on Struggle Street. So at this point, I would really like to move this up. I'm going to have to do a hard reset again. And that's done. So basically everything's done. You can then go into the service page and it's going to be perfect. Don't worry. Look. Awesome. Looks great. And then you're good to go. So we would then say all our SEO, technical SEO, on-page SEO, it's all looking good. And we could then say, go home. And we can upgrade. So yes, you would want to go through this checklist. You don't really need to set up a payment method if you're taking payments offline. But firstly, we'd need to publish the site. Yeah, okay, publish. We've done that. So now it's going to be able to be upgraded because we've sort of published that part there. So we would click on upgrade the site. If you've got your own domain that is hosted elsewhere, you can just point it to this site. When you do upgrade, you get a free domain anyway. So you could utilize that if you don't have one already. Because we use the bookings plugin, so we would need the business and e-commerce plan. We get 50% off because we're new, so we could choose that, get all these features. So that's pretty good. We'd go with that one. If you didn't have bookings and things like that, so then you could just go with your basic website plan. Once you do that, it'll ask you to, let's connect your domain and everything like that. And then basically you're live. So I hope, in terms of at least styling and design and things like that this tutorial's helped. There's obviously a lot more that you can do and a lot more that you can do to optimize it, like putting in a blog and researching keywords and doing all these things. But if your priority is to get a neat little website up like this, then, that's taken me a couple hours, and it would have taken me less if I hadn't been recording and explaining the whole time. So, see that? I'll show you how to fix that. That is a header that has a fixed scroll. So we're going to say header header, show me the header. This is the annoying part that I find frustrating sometimes. Header scroll settings. Sometimes it's hard to get things behind in layers easily. We're going to say scrolls with site. We don't want it to move down with the page like it was before. So I'm going to publish that. Now let's take a look. Barry's Auto. Oh. Link your services. It's not linked because we didn't have that page before. Link our services. Done. Here's our reviews. Here's our popular services. Yay. Let's have a look at car maintenance services. Oh, yeah, right. We can't actually show it because we're not live. We haven't paid for it. But it's set up. So when you do pay for it, it's good to go. About. Nice. Our services. Sort of annoying that I can't show you that. Contact. I guess at the end of the day, the only thing, that I would do differently on this is I would add an about section. I would add a blog and have recent blog articles on there. And then moving forward, I would definitely create individual pages for locations that I'm sort of targeting people in around me, and and have those types of things. But you know, if you could do this yourself, then you'd be happy, I think. Okay. Um, Please let me know if this video is way too long and boring, or if you want some other tutorials about Wix and quick fixes and things like that. Bye.